thank you for joining us for the North American Challenger Cup. We're in the second week, and we're already underway. We started on twitch.tv/Smite Game 2, made our way to the round of 8, and now we're going to be moving on to the rest of the tournament. Our next matchup will be the Rambozos versus Snapchat Gaming, the winner of which will wind up in the semifinals. So that's the match we're going to be seeing next. Stay tuned while we get that match underway. For Kret Production, my name is
Actually, hold on. We should be going in just a few moments.
All right.
The teams are ready. And so we should be getting pulled here in the moment. Let's give some background on our teams. We've got the Rambozos, who are now the second seed. First of all, let's talk about why they're the second seed. So
that is true.
Last week, there was a disqualification. Pain Vivendi was playing under a Smurf. And he was discovered. It was very clear that this account was a Smurf, and so it was discovered to be Pain, which is against the rules of the Pro League, as you're only allowed to play in the Pro League. You have to commit to one, and once you commit to the Pro League, you cannot play in the Challengers Cup. Otherwise, we'd have Dignitas here too, just for some of the money. And because of that, there was a disqualification on the team, which is Return, featuring the famous Clow. And all of the other teams were moved up by one. So the team that Meerkat is on, which is Rambozos, is now second seed. They're playing against the 7th seed, which is Snapchat Gaming, featuring
That's
Wubba.
actually a decent team.
Yeah. Snapchat Gaming is honestly very good. You've got Met Yankee, aka Wubba. You've got Ecliptium. You've got Grishank. You've got Kabam. If memory serves, that they have a lot of potential, and I think we'll definitely see them higher than 7th seed. If I remember, they just had a very tough round of 8 matchup last tournament, and they have one again.
Yeah, I mean, these teams are basically the reason we tune into the Challengers Cup. Not these teams specifically, but the archetype of these teams. They're names that we either are familiar with because of a long-standing history in competitive Smite, or they're names that we want to become associated with because we've just seen them perform outstandingly. They're not exactly number one just yet, but as you guys know, or maybe you're not familiar, basically what the Challenger Cup is each week we do North America Saturday, Europe on Sunday, and teams accrue seed points just like the Path to Launch tournament. First place will get 100 points, etc., down the line. At the end of 7-week play period, we total up the seed points that teams get, and the first and second place teams will fight against the 5th and 6th place teams of the SPL of their respective region for a spot in the SPL. So these teams that we see here could be the next teams in your Smite Pro League.
Yeah, so we do have a match underway. Snapchat Gaming versus Rambozos. We'll be trying to get the picks and bans up on your screen momentarily, guys, so stay tuned. But the lineups are going to be Snapchat Gaming, which is Heater, Ecliptium, Wubba, Skilodon, and off the team.
Who's off the team?
Off the team is Kabam. And then on the other side, it's the Rambozos, which are Aduro, Fiddy, Paradox, Meerkat, and Chris Pocket. But we are having some technical difficulties with picks and bans, guys. We're going to be transitioning out, remaking the game, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the North American Smite Challenger Cup Series. My name is F. Joined here by my comrade, Kret. And we're going to take a look at Snapchat Gaming versus Rambozos.
On the left-hand side, Snapchat Gaming with first pick, first ban. They're going to get rid of Loki, while the Rambozos on the other side are going to get rid of Mercury.
Pretty standard, just don't gank me bro type bans. They don't want to deal with too much damage coming out from those characters, Mercury and Loki. Mercury more so considered super top tier. Loki's just a hassle to deal with. And we see Geb, strong pick, and Serket. As we get later into the brackets, a lot more of these players are a little more experienced, so Serket becomes a real contender for these first pick, first ban situations.
Yeah, so just to give some SPL stats, Loki is banned 30% of the time, but when he hasn't been, his combined pick ban rate is 55%, so he's only been picked about 20% of the of the time total. So he's getting picked less than he's getting banned, and his win rate is 44, which isn't bad, but it's not good. He's 4 out of 9 matches with wins. So Loki, I think, is a little bit of a holdover from last few weeks, and he's starting to get phased out, but people still don't want to deal with him. Nuwa, we've seen a lot of Athena, Freya, very, very strong magic damage characters. Athena is a great guardian, and with Geb, she's very high priority. Vulcan.
The king! Vulking, as we call him over here in the land of F. Have to be excited about the Vulcan pickup, but one thing I want to mention about the Loki ban as we see Thor and Vamana being looked at is Loki is individually based. It's up to the player, in my opinion, with Loki. We see Lazarus do incredible things with Loki that most players couldn't really dream of, honestly. So Loki, like Serket, is dependent on the individual player skill for that character's kit. Not, are you good at Smite, but are you good at Loki? So the Loki bans are usually targeted, and if the Loki gets the win, is up to the Loki player. So I love the Sobek pick. We don't have a Geb. Geb is banned. I love the Sobek pick, Cret.
Yeah, so Sobek is something that, first of all, Wubba, aka Matt Yankee, is very good at. It's one of his better characters in that support role. Sobek, Vulcan, you mentioned Loki, and I think non-ultimate Nuwa are all very much implementation characters. What level do you play these characters at? If you play them at a high level, then you can really bring a lot to the table, which is what Snapchat Gaming is going to be looking to do. Vulcan has been banned 3 times in the SPL. He's been picked 3 times in the SPL, and he's actually 1 for 3. He hasn't performed that well. We saw Optics pick the character and not do too well. We saw Chunks pick the character and not do too well. But Exposed Secrets today, I believe, were able to take out a win with that character. So he has potential. I'm not sold on him personally, partially because I cannot play Vulcan. Like, I can play Anubis. I can't play Vulcan.
Yeah, I think Vulcan falls under the exact same conversation, if you want to rewind about 2-3 minutes. The exact same conversation I had about Loki, I think falls in Vulcan territory. Either you can maximize that 20% slow on his passive and get multiple turret shots every time you drop it, or you complain on Reddit that he needs a new passive. Either way, it's Vulcan is a very individual specific skill set.
That said, I think there's a decider that has not yet been made. Like Serket, we know she's good.
Right.
And she's hard to play. Vulcan, we know he's hard to play, but the question of is he good, I think is still up in the air. Like, if you're perfect with Anubis, you can make him work. If you're perfect with Vulcan, you can make him work. But Anubis isn't good.
Yes,
and
very true.
We make no prediction of that. I think Vulcan is still undecided because the question is it worth the time to be that good at him? Does he bring enough to the table? Is he unique enough? And when you are near skill cap, is he actually good enough even under those circumstances? Well, hopefully Snapchat is going to give us a closer idea of what Vulcan can do. I'm excited to see Heater play the character. We're going to head into our next match, Snapchat Gaming versus Rambozos, in a few minutes. So stay tuned for the continuation of your North American Smite Challenger Cup.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for being patient and joining us. Unfortunately, we've had a long-standing disconnect, and Rambozos are actually out of their pause time. That's the reason for the long delay. Again, apologies. We're going to watch Snapchat Gaming versus what remains of the Rambozos. On the left side of your spectator UI, in the blue, we're going to see Snapchat Gaming, made up by Ecliptium on Apollo in the Hunter lane, supported by Wubba on that Sobek. Heater will be playing the Vulcan in what looks to be the middle lane.
He's solo.
Solo lane, while off the team plays mid on Nuwa, and Skeleton is in the jungle on Hunbats.
On the other side, the Rambozos are Aduro in the mid lane. The Paradox playing Hunter. It's going to be Meerkat reconnecting just in time to play solo lane Sun Wukong Chris Pocket under support Athena, and Fiddy in the jungle as Freya.
So, 2 things. Well, Meerkat has finally made it into this match. Hopefully he doesn't suffer any long-standing Hopefully it's just a disconnect that took a long time, not sort of like a long-standing lag issue. I'd love to see a fair game because between these two matchups, between these two teams, Gret, I think we have an exciting matchup for the viewers at home.
I definitely agree. There could be a lot of really awesome fights coming out from these two teams. They're both very, very good. Once again, Rambozo's being 2nd seed and Snapchat Gaming being 7th seed on the
Fiddy is disconnected. Bear in mind, Rambozos are out of pause time. Basically, there's two things that can happen here, team. We either see a 4v5. Snapchat Gaming can pause the game if they want. But this is the Challenger Cup. This is for a spot in the SPL. I don't think they're going to do it, Kret.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't if I were in their shoes. I mean, if you hold the pause for them and they win, you're sending a team forward that has multiple players that can't connect. So not only are you essentially doing a disservice to yourself, but you can actually slow down the tournament because then you can have disconnect issues in the upcoming rounds. So it doesn't really make sense. And I guess it's my perspective, but from a tournament perspective.
Yeah.
Either way, in the long lane, Chris Pocket's going to get a nice taunt onto both Wubba and Ecliptium there. But taunting 2 people, you get hit by 2 people. So he's gonna trade the damage from 2 people onto himself. Paradox is going to be pulled, does have the roll. Ecliptium could dash forward. He's going to roll forward, gets the slow on a Paradox. Chris Pocket jumping in the way. Nice, so beautiful coming through, hitting both players. And Ecliptium and Wubba seem to have lane control.
Man, they definitely do have the lane control. And just to paint the larger picture here, Kret, the Rambozos are actually 2nd overall in North America with 70 seed points. They're number 2. The number 1 seed, Team Salt, has already been knocked out. So Rambozos would be vying for number 1 if you were to pay attention to the stats, whereas Snapchat Gaming is sitting at number 5. So Snapchat Gaming definitely will not be pausing this game. This could put them, if this game goes the way they want, this is an uphill battle for them. They're facing what, by the stats, this is a tougher team for them to face. This could put them in the top 3 if they get over this hump.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, going from the round of 8 to the round of 4 is the biggest step for any team in any sort of tournament series, league, etc. You really want to get into the top 4, top 3, because those are the positions that count. In this case, it's top 3 for monetary prizing, but it's only the top 2 who go to the wildcard tournament. Skilodon's going to be spotted out on a ward by Aduro, so that pesky little trick's not going to work out. Skilodon could rotate in the jungle on the right-hand side. Fiddy has reconnected, but he's level 1. 230 in. Chris Pocket now got to get ganked. It's the Fear No Evil. He's heading directly to the wall. New ultimate coming through to get the assist, which is super important. And Chris Pocket will fall to Skilodon for first blood.
Paradox going to take some extra damage. Wubba takes that kill away from his hunter Ecliptium, and 3 members of Snapchat Gaming go into the jungle looking to punish Rambozo's level 1 jungler even more by stripping this jungle away. Red buff is gone. Speed buff is gone. Back Harpies are gone. There's nothing for this Freya to get. She's farming in the middle of the lane. Here come 2 members in blue with 2 ultimate. Fiddy takes 3 hits, and he's dead. Skilodon gets credit for that kill. 3-0, 3 minutes in.
And while you might say, oh, wow, that's scummy, they killed the level 2, but this is a cash tournament. There's scummy, and then there's killing a level 2, and it's his fault. I mean, it's not his fault he disconnected, but the responsibility is on him to stay connected. And hopefully you win money. So, like, go for those kills. Punish the level 2. Take the advantages.
I completely agree, Kret. This is the road to becoming a professional Smite player. The way you get into the SPL is this. If you guys are unfamiliar with the Challenger Cup format, at the end of the 7-week play period, the seed points are tallied up, and the 1st and 2nd seed will fight the 5th and 6th seed of the SPL, and they can get into the SPL themselves. So if this was a casual tournament, we'd talk, but right here, play for keeps.
Exactly. It's all about the win. That's what matters. And once again, it's spots 1 and 2 that really mean the most. Just a throwback for some of you who might not even be convinced yet. In the olden times, in the first LAN tournament Smite, second LAN tournament Smite had, there is no pause feature in the game. People were getting disconnected, and you played 4v5, 4v4, whatever. You just tried to win and do your best, and that's what Rambozo's going to do. They're down 3 kills, they're down 4,000 experience and 2,500 gold, and at the 5-minute mark, that's a lot. But it doesn't necessarily mean they're out of the game. These are all very good players, they're very high ranked, and when it comes to the Challengers Cup, at this point in the round of 8, everyone's a threat. Anything can happen, and honestly, we're starting to see that earlier in the tournament. Everyone's a threat. You mentioned the round 1 or the
Team
first
Salt
seed team lost to the 64 seed team. Now that's a randomly seeded team, so it's partially bad luck on their part because there was a randomizer that made that team go against them in the second round after they won their first round. But as first seed, they're expected to be able to beat anybody. Fitty in the jungle, taken down real quick. Aduro gets bursted by Nuwa. Off the team, can go up in the air, but will it be enough as Aduro's trying to heal up in his heal and is not going to be skilled on? Will jump in. Somersault finds the kill. Chris Pocket has already used his taunt, so now there's not much he can do. Athena does great damage, but your taunt is necessary to confirm.
Very, very true. And you know, we talked about how the Goliaths have fallen. Team Salt is the number 1 seed, and they fell. The number unseeded team. There was a team in this tournament that had Clow, crowd favorite Clow, and some names you might be familiar with. Mace to the Face and the Best made up a team that featured Clow, and they were taken out, believe it or not, by a team called Asgard Gaming, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So the mighty can fall, and so you got to be careful in every turnaround. Meerkat taking a lot of damage in the solo lane. 3-man gank. Athena ultimate going to prevent that by providing some damage reduction. Freya's gotten a little bit of farm due to her jungle respawning. Did lose out on that speed buff as we saw, but mid-camp's respawning, and if the Rambozos take this, it's not going to even up the 3,400 gold deficit, but it's certainly a step in the right direction. Rights are going to go to the blue team. The lefts are still up, and Rambozos relinquishing them. They don't really want to fight. Fitty can't afford to die again.
On the left-hand side, Wubba is going to be taking those mid-camps with his team. Gold Fury pulled by Ecliptium. Rambozos will be forced to contest this. There is a nice experience in gold lead in favor of Snapchat Gaming. They're going to reset to Wubba. They've got minions to help and will not quite blow it up with the Shing Metal. And the Gold Fury is 25%. Snapchat Gaming were prepared and are going to be able to hog it at just the right time. No hog 3, just hog 1, but it still does 500 damage.
Very, very true. 7 minutes into this game, unfortunately, Fitty still level 5. Enemy jungler skilled on level 11. 4 kills on that jungler. So that's going to be the biggest mismatch in this game, and unfortunately might determine it.
It definitely could, but the Rambozos have a combined 9 minutes or 12 minutes of disconnection in this match. So if they're going to lose because of the disconnect, then like sending them forward, providing amnesty doesn't really change anything, or it doesn't really help, because the next round you would assume they're going to disconnect just the same. I mean, when you use all of your pause time on a disconnect, there's definitely something going wrong on the client's end.
Very true. I like what Rambozos are doing here. They're having Fitty stay in the duo in the middle lane. They're gonna split that over here. We see an ultimate coming out in the right hand lane. Skilladon just gonna delete Meerkat, that level 11 monkey, or level 12 now with that kill. Level 12 versus level 9 Meerkat. That's gonna be a big deal. But they're sticking Fitty in the middle lane, letting him farm up relatively safely.
Ooh.
That said, Nuwa just blew up a Duro. Not much safety there with that much burst on the table.
Very interesting matchup between pull on a Fitty. He's in a lot of trouble. Shinging Metal comes out, taken down by Alpha Team with an auto attack and the help of those minions. Nuwa vs Ra is a very interesting matchup. Once Ra is level 9, his Celestial Beam will kill the minions in 1 hit, I believe. But if off the team uses those minions, once Ra's Celestial Beam is down, Ra really doesn't have a way to deal with them. You just take the damage, and it's really, really rough. So it's very much it's a matchup of who saves their ability until the perfect time.
Definitely about that micromanagement in that matchup. Vulcan for Snapchat Gaming really doing well in this right-hand lane. Meerkat level 10, sending Vulcan back, Heater level 12, but over here on the left-hand lane, there's a fight over this blue buff. Wubba all by himself, surrounded by 3 members of the Rambozos. This is a great start. If they could get this kill crit, it's what they need. Wubba down to about 40%, gets a good flip. Paradox has the Athena ult onto him, not gonna do anything. 2 shots from Rom, not enough to get the kill, and now Rambozos have to play it safe because Snapchat is all here. 3 members here, good taunt coming out from Paradox or Chris Pocket. Do you really want these players attacking you?
Yeah, nice banish to slow down Skeleton, heading into the jungle but low on mana, so probably just gonna farm. Mid camps are up, Heaters rotating over right camps. Great rotation from the Solar, just like, alright, the rest of my team can't pick up this camp, I'll get the farm, still goes to my team, still valuable. But, you know, Snapchat Gaming right now, they're going to take the lead that they were already given, and they're just going to try and expand it as much as possible, spreading their pressure around the map, making sure that not just one lane, not just the jungle for Rambozos is behind, making sure that everyone is behind. Right now, Paradox, Adura, and Meerkat are all even, but they're also all behind a little less than 1,000 gold.
Freya finally getting some farm in her own jungle. Clears the speed, no problem. Now looking at blue buff, has to be forced out of here. Level 7 to 13 and 13 on Skeleton and Heater. They're aggressing on a Meerkat. In comes an ultimate, down comes a satellite. Meerkat's gonna avoid that, no problem. Fiddy shows up for no reason, takes almost all of his HP, and while in the air gets taken down by the Nuwa ult. Aduro does take down Skeleton, but Heater cleans up Meerkat. That's gonna go ahead and be a 2-for-1, going the way of Snapchat Gaming yet again, but Rambozos are on the board. 11 minutes in, 10-1, Snapchat Gaming.
Yeah, Snapchat Gaming is looking so good right now. They're going to push onto the right tower, and they're going to look to take down Aduro here. Nice snipe on the wave. He doesn't have the CC immunity if he needs it, but it's going to mean that that Snapchat Gaming is forced to actually die for that tower. Now, Wubba does not take very much damage. The tower's already low, but it's just one of those little things that is the correct thing to do. And it also forced out a rotation from off the team just in case, which should clear up a little bit of pressure in the mid lane.
Freya trying to get some more farm, still level 7. Fiddy now 0, 4, and 1. A lot of that due to the unfortunate circumstances, but able to pick up some of this farm, just hitting level 8. Rambozos just staying on their tower in the duo lane, don't want to give Snapchat any real excuse to make something happen. And now we have a period of normalcy, if you will, Kret. Snapchat are looking to take something down, but the Rambozos are an experienced team, and they're not going to overextend. So it's up to Snapchat to make something happen, because Rambozos aren't going to open any doors.
My Gold Fury has been pulled, and that's exactly what the Snapchat are doing. They're making it happen, forcing this potential engagement. Rambozos are rotating over, preemptive strike charged up, Rom up in the air. Gold Fury does reset just in time. Skeleton in trouble, will jump away. He's gonna be fine, but Freya's up in the air, and Fiddy will secure the kill. That definitely is revenge, but Fiddy falls for it, so it might not be that sweet. Either way, Paradox being chasing down. Wubba can't get quite in range. Athena ultimate was ready, but not used until Paradox actually got caught. He was waiting.
So the Fiddy for Skeleton trade is undoubtedly good for the side of Rambozos. Skeleton with 5, 1, and 4 before dying to Fiddy the Freya was worth a lot more gold than an 0, 4, and 1 Freya for sure. So they come up on top. Freya respawns. She's going to be able to farm up again, and Rambozos stops Snapchat from really getting that Gold Fury. They're going to start it again. We'll see if Rambozos can do it one more time. Nuwa trying to play some goalie.
Meerkat is going to try and contest this, but he's going to get pulled back in. Now the question is, can they kill Sun Wukong? He gets into the ult, into the air. Did that hit the minion? Nuwa ultimate hit the minion, I'm pretty sure. Either way, Wubba's in the front line. Fiddy trying to get some damage off, but can't really do it with his steroids down. Ecliptium's gonna roll forward. Fiddy mezzed out. Nice burst from the So Beautiful. Finds the auto to get the kill. Fiddy's juke's not good enough there. Gold Fury pulled once again. Snapchat Gaming is just baiting, killing, and finally it seems they're gonna take the Gold Fury.
Good plays from Rambozos, but unfortunately the numbers are too big, and here comes the hit from the monkey. Aduro gonna be snapped out by Skeleton of Snapchat Gaming. Chris Pocket using that preemptive strike to get out of trouble's way. 3 members of Snapchat invading onto this blue buff again. the jungle falls. After Gold Fury down, that's going to be an 8,600 lead with respects to gold for Snapchat Gaming.
Yeah, now Snapchat's going to group up on the left-hand side. They're in the mid-game. They've got the gold. They've got the experience. Now they just need to get the map. And Nuwa still does something very important. She still removes backdoor protections. Her minions are minions. They function like minions. They attack towers. They have the same AI, just that little charge attached. And they shred magical protections. So Nuwa can still be used to accelerate your push. Great play coming out there from Snapchat. They've got all of the outer towers out now. And next, they push in for the inner towers. Look to get a strong position around Fire Giant and in the enemy jungle. Rambozos have to try and take the right fight at the right time in the right situation under their tower.
Yeah, you know, Rambozos are making the good plays. We see Meerkat pushing up on the tower, getting as much damage as he can until Snapchat comes up the lane. That's just instincts. There really aren't any wards, which is an unfortunate situation for Rambozos up that far. He just figured that he'd been there too long. Veteran instincts, if you will. So Rambozos, you can tell that they have the know-how. It's just, well, they're going to catch out Wubba right here. Good charge prey, and he's out of trouble. Rambozos, realistically, Kret, what can the Rambozos do to really get out of this 9,000 gold hole that they are in right now?
So here's what you do when you're behind. You fight under the perfect conditions for your team. So a corridor where you can combine a Raw Snipe with a Freya ultimate with a Rama ultimate, for example. Or you fight when you outnumber your opponent. So 3v2, 4v2, 5v4, or 6v5, that sixth player being a tower or a phoenix. You take the fight when the ball is in your court, and that's how you start to make a comeback. There is a possibility. It's gonna be rough. 10,000 gold, 15,000 experience are a lot. The Rambozos have to farm very safely, get as much safe farm as they can, and when Snapchat Gaming makes an aggressive play like the one they're making right now, the Rambozos have to punish hard. That said, Rom's too far away. Freya's too far away. Athena's not going to get there in time. Aduro could get some damage off with the snipe, but Snapchat already is the Fire Giant. They're going to fight in the lava. Vulcan ult comes through. It's not going to connect. Wubba's in a bit of a bad spot, but at that Fear No Evil is going to turn directly into the way of Snapchat. One kill. Chris Pocket slowed down. Will dash away. Skilldon doesn't have a jump to chase. On the left-hand side, Fiddy in trouble. Up in the air. Clipped him. Kills him before he can be truly flying. Great play.
Fantastic play by Snapchat. I love the decision from the Paradox to push this tower. Get the objective if you can at all costs. He's gonna have to face against an Apollo right here. Apollo's gonna take out the minions before the tower falls, so the Paradox is gonna find himself running away. The tower's still just a little bit left, but that's what Rambozos need to do. They need to find the smaller objectives, and I would have loved to see Rom really almost trade his life. I think I would be okay if Rom traded his life for that tower.
It would be a gold game, and his respawn time is probably short enough that it would make it worthwhile. That said, Rom has not died that much, so he's still worth some decent gold, maybe 250, 300. But yeah, so right now the Rambozos are going to try and defend. They probably can't defend under tower in a straight fight in a 5v5. Under Phoenix, they have to pick a point to go all in. I think they just go completely all in for the 5v5 fight and try and make the recovery. It's the best shot they have.
That's rough. 5v5 fight. Freya would have to play on the outskirts. Freya's still level 11. Making her way up there, making her way downtown. Chris Pocket level 12, though, so Fiddy's still definitely behind by a long shot. We have Rambozos playing in their bottom 25% of the map right now. They really have to hover on these tier 2 towers. They only have one remaining. Mid tower went down to a Snapchat Gaming push just a few minutes ago. 18.5 minutes in. We started off this match with an unfortunate disconnect. Technical issues forced the team to start playing 5 versus 4. Score right now 15-2, going the way of Snapchat Gaming, and 13,000 gold going the way of the blue team as well.
There's actually multiple disconnects even, not just one player, but one player and then another one right as the game started. So really unfortunate, but you play with the hand that you're dealt. Snapchat Gaming on the left-hand side are going to take the tower. Phoenix is next in line. Rambozos are going to be looking to fight here. This is their chance, their opportunity to come back. They need to just try and play it right. Aduro's heal is on cooldown for now. He's got about 10 seconds. Nice banish onto Ecliptium, but is not really going to set up anything. And it's all about going in at the right time. The engage from Snapchat is the pluck from Sobek. That only pulls one person in the fray. Chris Pocket has much stronger engage. He can set something up, but they need to pick the right time. They're waiting, they're looking, they're hoping. It's got to be now.
Yeah, this is really when they want to fight, as you said, 6v5, and they have their Phoenix. They've gotten mid-Phoenix down. This Phoenix on the left-hand side has melted, but they have taken the invitation to fight. Rambozo's trying to make something happen, but it's just too much damage. Spread out by the Fear No Evil. Ecliptium's going to pick up a kill. That's going to be good, but two members are down for the Rambozos at the moment. Paulo lands, picks up Fiddy in the back line. Only member remaining is Meerkat. Scratch that. Paradox has found his way into the fountain. They're going to provide a little bit of spacing. The Titan going to fall right now. 20 minutes on the dot, and the Rambozos and the Snapchat gaming team in blue goes ahead, takes the victory. They move on to the next round.
They're going to be moving on to the semifinals to face off against Resist Gaming in the lower bracket. In the upper bracket, Apex Predators, who we saw before, taking down, I believe, Epiphany Gaming, will be waiting for One Step Ahead versus Asgard Gaming. Both of those teams are the upset teams. One Step Ahead was able to take down Team Salt. Asgard Gaming was able to take down, I need to check out this name, Mace Clow Mewiggle.
Yeah, definitely an interesting name, but before we go to break, I want to say one thing, and that's all I really want to say about this situation, is that these are two of our better teams in the North American Challenger Cup. We see these teams come out and compete all the time, and this is one of my personal favorite matchups. I like to watch these teams, and I'm very disappointed, along with the rest of you in chat, that we did not get a good game. That said, this single game could be the difference between winning over $1 million or not going to a LAN at all. Like, we discussed the situation of the format of the Challenger Cup. The top two seeded teams will fight for a spot in the SPL, and the teams at the SPL will fight for a spot to the World Championships, and the teams that go to the World Championships will fight for an extremely large prize pool. There is a large situation involved. There are careers on the line. This is professional. This is not casual. I think that says it all. We might all say different things when we're watching. Sportsmanship is real, but you want to win. And Snapchat Gaming, they're seated below. This is their opportunity to be the David overtaking Goliath. And in the sense of performance and win seeking, I have to say they made the right call. This is professional. You play for keeps. You play for wins. We're going to go on to our next matchup. We're going to pay attention to the future. Which teams are we going to be seeing in the next match, Cret?
It's going to be One Step Ahead versus we're waiting on One Step Ahead and Asgard Gaming to resolve. It has not yet. The winner of that is going to move on to face the Apex Predators in our next match. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be back in just a few minutes with a continuation in the semifinals of your North American Challenger Cup.